Leaving a TA role can stir up a whole mix of emotions: pride, sadness, relief, maybe even frustration. Whether you've loved every minute or whether you're counting down the days, this video is your gentle guide to leaving well, with self-respect, professional grace, and a healthy sense of closure. Let's talk about what to do and what not to do when it's time to move on. 1. Honour what the role gave you, even if it wasn't perfect. So before you dive into handovers or goodbyes, take a quiet moment just for you and ask yourself, what did I learn here? Who helped me grow? What strengths did I discover? Because even in the trickiest of roles, you'll find small glimmers: a child you connected with, a classroom routine you nailed, a moment you stood up for yourself. And why this all matters: you are not just leaving a job, you are evolving as a professional. This reflection anchors your confidence and sets the tone for how you leave. So even in a school that you've maybe not had the best of times in, you can reflect on how that has helped you to grow, because the next school you go to, you'll recognize any issues more quickly because you would have experienced them before. You'll also appreciate the school if it is a better one for you, if it's a better fit for you. Your previous school, the one you're about to leave, reflecting on what you've learned, how it's made you feel, will make you appreciate the new school all the more. So it's definitely, I mean, I've been there, I've been at a couple of schools that were less than happy for me, but they really equip me for future schools, and for appreciating future schools. 2, leave a legacy, even a tiny one. So you might not realize it, but you have made an impact. Whether you've worked one-to-one, whether you've been a general TA, or whether you've floated between year groups, your presence is quietly everywhere. Here are 3 powerful ways to leave something behind. So before you leave, organize your resources. Tidy up any folders, whether they are, in the real world or online. Label things clearly. It's a kindness to the next TA and the class teacher will silently thank you. Write a short handover note. Include practical things like which students need extra support during transitions, or that tricky cupboard key that only fits upside down. Say one encouraging thing to someone you've worked closely with. Even a sentence can stay with them a long time after you've gone. And what not to do. Even though you might feel tempted, don't leave behind chaos, bitterness, or silence. Even if you feel unappreciated, leaving with grace is the long game for your reputation and your peace of mind. 3, saying goodbye, what to say and what to let go. So let's be honest, school goodbyes can be very awkward. Sometimes you're given cards and presents and maybe a cake. Sometimes you just slip away on the last day without anyone really noticing. And I've been there, I've done that. Both are okay, but here's what you can control. So here are the things you should do. Tell key people you're leaving personally, even if it's just a quick "thanks, I've learned a lot working with you." And be clear in your reasons if asked. I mean, you can also say things like, if you would just, when I say be clear, don't go into, well, I've absolutely hated it, I can't wait to leave. Say things like, it just felt like the right time to take the next step. Or you could say, I've really enjoyed it, but I'm ready for a new challenge. Now, things you shouldn't do: don't use the goodbye as a moment to offload every frustration. Don't post a social media rant before or after you've handed in your lanyard. And don't overshare in your exit interview if you have one. If you're feeling too emotional, jot down your thoughts first because clarity matters more than venting. And a tip, write a personal goodbye note to students you've worked closely with. So if you've worked one-to-one with a child, even a couple of lines to say you'll remember them and you're proud of them. It's a small gesture that can mean the world to them. And if you've worked with a whole class and you want to give them little cards, do that. But make sure you give, if you're going to do that, give a card to every child, because the poor child that gets left out will feel awful. 4, leave with your reference in mind. So whatever your experience, your reference follows you. So make it easy for the school to say something positive. Now, the thing is, there are strict rules on references, so they're not actually allowed to say anything negative about you. It's really about what they don't say in in references. If the school that's receiving the reference can sort of read between the lines. And of course, you can't stop someone from picking up the phone and ringing the school. So finish your tasks properly, especially if you're working your notice. Leave with integrity, even if you feel invisible. The way you exit is part of your professional story. If you're worried about your reference, you can ask to see a copy or request a character reference from a specific colleague instead, which I think is actually a really good idea. And remember, a reference isn't just about performance, it's about professionalism, attitude, and reliability. And those things show most clearly at the end. So it is tempting, believe me, I've been there, to want to say, sod it. But if you can school yourself to do everything you can to do things right, you walk through those school gates holding your head up high. And then if your reference is less than, which one of mine was, um, because I was at odds with the teacher that I was working with, and she happened to be the deputy head. I have got a video about that you maybe go and have a look at after this one. There's ways around it. They told me at my next interview, and I was very pleasant and said that the teacher was under a lot of stress, but that I'd learned from the situation. So don't over worry about your reference, but just try and be professional when you're working your notice. You'll feel better about it once you've left. 5, handle the feelings, not just the logistics. So leaving a school, especially if you've been there a while, can bring a surprising sense of loss, because you might feel guilty about moving on. You shouldn't, but you might. Sad to leave the children, and even angry about how things turned out, or just weirdly numb. This is normal. Give yourself permission to feel it all, and then make space for what's coming next. You might find that journaling, chatting to a trusted colleague, or even recording a voice memo for yourself helps you process it all privately. I think the voice memo is a really great idea. You can sit there and you can ramble on and you can get it all out. So whether you're leaving a school you loved or one you quietly survived, you showed up, you gave care, and you kept going. Leaving well doesn't mean pretending it was all perfect. It means holding your head high and closing the door with dignity, knowing the next chapter is yours to write. So over to you. Have you ever left a TA job before, or are you about to do it? What's something you wish someone had told you? Pop it in the comments, and if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more real-world TA guidance from someone who gets it. Definitely do. Thank you so much for watching.